Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fab Swingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, cause it's bed hopping time. Hello and welcome to the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name's Mr. H.
I think I'm Mrs. A.
Thank you for joining us today. We have some very special guests who are already laughing and already chattering away in the background. We're really pleased to welcome them back to the show. This is going to be one of our Flip You Off specials where we interview someone and then halfway through it all flips around and they interview us.
I mean, good luck with this, babe.
Hang on, we're getting interviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you moron.
You know this. We told you.
Well, before...
Good luck with this, babe.
Thank you. I'm going to try and steer this crashing ship.
Sinking ship.
This is how bad it is. So we've had a few drinks this evening. This could be an utter disaster. Hopefully.
Sit, Sherlock.
Thank you. Thank you, dear. With us this evening, Secret Stag and Secret Vixen. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us back on the show.
Have you lost your klaxon?
I don't need a klaxon when they can do that by themselves. I think the best way that we can proceed on this is to go straight in and start asking questions.
Don't ever go in
Can we
dry.
just clarify, first of all, this was all Secret Vixen's idea to do this after we were drunk?
I have no idea what's going on.
Well, no, we don't need to ask any questions, you absolute pinecone. Brilliant.
Whoa, okay. So I think what happened
Literally
is that
took all my questions out.
we did talk about this before we went out for drinks and we said, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if we did this at some point this evening? And it is now this evening and we've now had a few drinks.
It's almost tomorrow.
It is almost tomorrow.
Almost.
It is in like 7 minutes. And then we decided to record. So let's go with it and see how it pans out. So I'm going to jump in with a question for you folks, all right?
God,
all right.
you are literally going in dry.
I am going in dry.
You haven't even taken them out for dinner first.
I made out with one of them on the sofa.
There's no liquid silk here. We're just straight in, mate.
Spit is not lube,
You
but I'm going to use
literally-
some.
Spit is not lube. No.
You bought a Secret Stag some olives and that's it.
What more does he need?
That's not really taking him out for dinner.
He's not even texting me, though, is he?
Well, no, not apparently
Is
not.
that
He
the
only bought you
question?
olives. So.
It would be news to me, but my question for the two of you, my first question is, why did you join the lifestyle?
That's a good question.
For this car crash of...
We really wanted to be on the Bed Hoppers show.
We got into the lifestyle because ultimately, at that point in my life, I was unhappy with not just our sex life, but that sort of filtered its way into other areas of our life because our sex life was bad. Therefore, there was... Well, it was, wasn't it? Because we weren't having sex regularly.
Bad.
No,
It's
it
a bit
was,
harsh.
wasn't it? That's not unfair. That's not...
Mrs. H is cringing in the corner.
No, but hear me out because...
Maybe unsatisfying is a better
unsatisfying,
way.
perhaps, and let's say that, because there was still love and there was still closeness and have you, but
Was it not happening as much?
Spark, yeah, and of course the sparse and mundane.
Gee, I'm just going to leave now.
Well, it's not now, is it? Well, it's certainly not now, is it, Secret Vixen?
No.
Anyway, the point is, though, I think you say, why did we want to get into the lifestyle? I think at the beginning, it wasn't with a goal of being part of this amazing community. The goal was at that point just to help ourselves to maybe develop something and gain that closeness and intimacy again by doing something different. But what do you think, Vixen? What do you think? It's a car crash.
No. You are true. I mean, I'm still reading on the bad comment, but
That was quite damning.
I'll
For
allow
goodness
it.
sake.
But no, it is true. Sort of things in the bedroom had gone a little bit dry, or arid, or any other sort of synonyms. But no, it's true. And sort of opening up the discussion to opening up the bedroom did sort of ignite things for us. And then we acted upon them and we've not looked back since.
Absolutely. We didn't even know this community was here.
No.
This was a wonderful, wonderful side effect of that.
So my second question, and probably the first one that I should have asked, was, who the fuck are you?
Good
I just wandered in.
Yeah. If
Door was open, heard some
I know.
music.
I went straight in there. Granted.
I told you this. I warned you. You went in no
I tell you
lube.
for
You
why.
literally
For
just
why?
went in there.
Well, my assumption was that people know who they are, but just in case people don't, who are you folks?
Do you want to go
Who
first?
are we? That is the question.
Do you want to go first?
So I'm Secret Vixen. I'm off the Twitter. I have a blog. You have a blog, Mrs.
it was
yeah.
too easy. When it's too easy, I'm not
No,
interested.
I just
I've
looked
got to work
straight at you. I was
for it.
like, I'm waiting. So I have
are we for the next chapter.
yeah.
Oh, bum. Yes, so I do have a blog. It's secretvixen.blog. And I am at secret_1 on Twitter. And I document events that happen in our sort of private life,
And what-
lifestyle.
Is it about your private life that's maybe different from maybe other people?
So I identify as hot wife, in which I go off and have adventures. Sometimes Secret Stag partakes in them. Other times he doesn't, and he's in the bath.
Sometimes, most times I'm in the bath. Thanks, wife.
That's your happy place, your safe place.
It is.
But yeah,
And I'm Secret Stag, and I sort of set Secret Vixen down this path by having some conversations. Since the last 4 years, we've been on the path of hot wifing and swinging with some wonderful people and having a lot of fun and discovering things about ourselves and having a good time. And we've known the Bedhoppers since we just looked at some
We
things
were
today,
literally
didn't
just
we? We
taking a
were
trip
looking
down
at these,
memory
weren't we?
lane, weren't we?
Since
2019.
2019. The beginning, middle of.
Yeah.
before the world went.
Yeah.
Well,
And here
yeah,
that's
actually,
who
just
we
before.
are. But we're certainly not experts,
No,
but we
definitely
can
not.
at least say that we know a few things about what we've been through.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Am I allowed to ask a question?
Oh.
I mean, my questions are inherently silly compared to your
Yay!
serious
We want
questions.
silly
Oh,
questions.
silly, so please.
No,
Well, I mean, I
we'll
literally
make them
made
silly.
mine up 6 minutes ago.
nice.
Okay, well, I'll lead in with a semi-serious. And
You've always got
I
to
know
lead
you
in
love a
with a
semi.
Oh my God.
Everyone
Oh,
loves,
no one likes a
anyone loves
semi.
a semi. Well, this is quite poignant what Secret Stag was saying. If you could go back and do this again, what would you?
No, this is one of our questions.
Oh well, tough. I've
Also-
done it first. Oh, you don't
I'm
even know the other questions.
Hang on a second. Also, my question that I showed Mrs. H.
I couldn't read your writing.
What the
Well, now we've only got a few
Well, I
questions.
haven't even finished my fucking question. Yeah, I can't see that.
Oh, we thought we
Um,
were really clever with that question.
Anyway, my question, if you could go back and do this again, what would you tell yourself to do differently?
Oh.
I can't read that. It's no good pointing it out to
Gentle
me.
listeners, they're currently everyone's pointing to the question that we have all written.
Well, it's a good
Literally-
question.
It is a good
It's
question.
question.
It's
I
an
think-
important question,
So
I think.
you do so. It is an up and down adventure, and you do make mistakes.
Hey, giggly.
And you have to learn from those things. And I wouldn't change anything because I think we've learned even from things that didn't go well. But perhaps what I would do differently. I definitely, in the very early stages, would give Vixen you more space and more time because of getting overexcited about how things are going and trying to push too fast, too quickly with certain things.
You overexcitable?
No.
No, that's a bigger secret than your identity.
If you've wanted something for so long and then suddenly you're like, oh my God, it's going to happen.
all
She's going to do the thing. You can push too quickly. And I think that was something I certainly did. What else would I do differently? What did you think?
No, I think going back to what you sort of just said about going a bit quickly, like we had that initial excitement when we'd had the first conversation, and then all of a sudden it sort of the conversations just seemed to take over every aspect of our day. And that was quite daunting. And suddenly it started to lose its excitement a little bit, because I thought, is this what it's going to be? Is this the only thing we're ever going to chat about? But obviously we came through that. We actually were like, no, we need to have a little bit of a time out. And then we sort of regrouped and came back together. But in terms of, is there anything we do differently? I genuinely not sure.
We've been very fortunate to also have played with some wonderful, wonderful people throughout our time. And that's not true for everybody. No. You don't always, hit home runs, so to speak, when you meet people. But for us, we've been very fortunate.
We have been very fortunate.
Which leads me beautifully into my question, or the other question that I'd.
If it's another one of ours, I'm going to leave.
Okay, what's been your favourite experience?
Oh, good one.
Oh my God, that was one of mine.
You literally read my fucking question.
Because I can't read your bloody writing.
I
can't read your writing.
Oh, that's really, really difficult, because we've had some really incredible ones.
Do you know what? I think it's because we've been really lucky and had a variety of different experiences. Like we had an amazing orgy. We had an orgy with the amazing bed hoppers and some other friends of Twitter, Final Song, Clickbang, and really just wonderful, wonderful times with them, Miss Slutty Pants, of course, as well. And that was amazing. That was really amazing. But that was coming at things from like a swinger standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, we've had like the sort of the spectacle, like New York will forever sort of be there, because it was a very magical sort of time.
For the listeners who aren't know what that is, can you explain what happened?
So the New Year's Eve of 2019 going into 2020, we were fortunate enough that we were able to go to New York for New Year's Eve, where we met up with the delightful Mr. C from Keys and Anklet. And we had, so by day we were tourists, by evening it was very much a hot wife.
Fucked a lot.
Okay, fine. Well, okay. I was trying to.
Well, we don't want to cheat out.
So that was like a sort of almost like a once in a lifetime experience. But then we've also had some really amazing ones, like after the second bed hopper social. When we had the special guest fly in from America. Yeah,
when we had Ashley Del Toro flying from the United States and surprise you. From hot wife experiences, those were pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
But then part of the amazing thing about being in the community is we had these other unexpected things as well. Meeting the hoppers, and we had a lovely time out in Winchester and a crazy adventure with them there.
Suddenly having a microphone thrust in your face.
Well, it's not the worst thing.
And then puking in my bar.
Oh, yes.
I do enjoy that stuff. Why is that my fault?
Deflecting.
Mrs. H and I had zero to do with this. We were on the other side of the bar having a nice old chat.
On our side.
No, we were having a good old chat.
We were behaved
That is a good memory, though. I do enjoy that one.
It was a good
Vixen,
memory.
maybe you can tell us about it.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
I think she wrote about it in her blog.
Not the aspects of it, though.
That aspect is certainly not reasonable.
I think we should until she gets quite choked up when she's thinking about
this. Please.
Oh, God.
I can tell you that's a story that I was all cock-a-hoop about.
Oh, God.
Moving swiftly onwards, Mrs. H, your next question.
Do you know what? I'm going to change the tact completely here. I think it's time that we moved into some other areas. What animal do you most relate to?
Good question.
See, I have to go off on a tangent completely.
Ooh.
Let's go to Vixen first.
I mean, obviously people are expecting me to say fox.
Right.
But
that's not the answer, right?
It's not my answer, no.
Is it a cockatoo?
She's partial to a cock or two.
You got that first.
You can play that game.
This is tricky. I do relate to a raccoon.
I know.
In many, many ways. They're cheeky little hands. They're
little
sneaky.
trash
panda.
Love it.
Quite happy to just lie there and just sort of in their own film. Oh, gosh, this has gone to a place I didn't expect.
Oh, God.
They like destroying bathrooms. I don't know where that went either, but
they look cute, so you give them affection because they just sort of look pathetic. Yes, raccoon.
Very nice.
Stand by my raccoonness.
They're quite mischievous, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
always look a little bit sort of sleep deprived.
Like they might nick your wallet as well.
Yeah. This is quite true.
Yeah, cute but vicious.
Very nice.
Love it.
What about you, Stag?
Tricky. Again, people are going to want to say stag because
Who
they're
would relate
large.
as a stag,
They're, no,
though?
'cause they're
Just sort of
large,
standing there
powerful,
mooching around?
majestic. I'm none of those things. I'm just none of those things. I'm trying to think of an animal that is like erratic and unpredictable
You're a puppy.
and
Aww.
full of like mania. That's
Puppy.
a puppy.
Some kind of
Maybe.
little like mongrel puppy.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, wife. A mongrel puppy.
Oh my
Not even
God.
oh my god. This
Yeah,
is
but like a cute one.
Wait, an
Thanks,
erratic
wife.
animal
With really
that
big eyes.
goes around in circles.
like a
and-
chihuahua
that
puppy.
chases its tail.
But like a mongrel chihuahua, like a chihuahua Jack Russell
no,
puppy.
Chihuahua's like a pedigree. I'm saying mongrel, a bit
Chihuahua
bit
Jack
of
Russell.
that. No,
So eagle is what we're going for.
you're an eagle.
Like a bald
No.
eagle.
No, definitely you're not.
I'll go with then
Puppy.
puppy. Yeah, puppy. I do get very overexcited.
You do.
I don't really understand how things work.
But if you tickle your tummy, you're happy.
I am. I'm pleased by the very simplest of things. So that's what makes sense. Yes, we'll go with puppy then. Let's go with puppy.
Aww.
Nice question.
I like that question.
Okay, I'm going to go in with a slightly more fun one as well.
Oh.
Okay. I need to know your favourite Spider-Man and your favourite Batman.
Oh, good one. So
Oh,
go on, go.
I'm scared of saying spoilers. Is it okay to say certain things
I think
now?
we're
Is it
past the
being
spoiler
passed?
range.
Yeah,
of
Because
I
I'm
things.
actually going to say Andrew Garfield from the most recent Spider-Man film
That's fair.
It's true.
because he was just
He owned that film.
lovable. He was fun. He was just, yeah. He was kind of
excellent in
everything
that.
he really
was
wasn't
great.
initially.
I think I've got to go with my boy Toby, just from the originals. That's the one we grew up with. He was excellent. Loved Spider-Man in that.
I
excellent,
do love
excellent.
Tom though as well.
I think Tom is good. Yeah,
Can I just take all three from
Can
the
you
recent?
take all three?
I mean, I reckon
I think that's
could.
Secret Stag's dream, right?
I could.
He's like, finally,
I
we
think-
just get on with it already.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And the Batman.
Batman.
I mean, there's quite a few to choose
It's
from,
true.
right?
I'm going to go with Christian Bale.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say Christian Bale.
think Christian Bale.
I really did enjoy those films.
Yeah.
Where's the trigger? Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I was also thinking Christian Bale.
You're always thinking
For
about Christian Bale.
reasons.
Christian Bale's good.
Nothing to do
Sorry,
with Batman.
because I'm sure
But
there's
are you more like a
diehard
Christian Bale,
Keaton fans.
American Psycho Christian Bale was his age?
Yeah.
'Cause
Did
you're
you
a
know
bit-
you could do 1,000 crunches in that movie? And he has to return some videotapes.
It goes through a
Return
lot
the
of
tapes.
face mask though in that film.
Oh my god.
I've not seen it.
Wow.
Charlie.
He could do 1,000 crunches.
Can he?
Just saying.
Well, yeah, probably.
Body-wise, he's perfection in that movie.
So my next question.
He's a bit messed up.
I'm going to jump in with a double.
Ooh.
What turns you off?
Oh, good one.
Oh.
I can tell you now. What turns me off in terms of lifestyle stuff.
Yeah.
Like one-on-one with my wife, it's very just so intimate and just together doing our sex stuff. But what turns me off in lifestyle, if I didn't get any interaction from her during an engagement, sort of if I was watching her do something and there was if she ignored me completely, it would put me off because part of our dynamic is that although it may seem from the outside view that it's just she's fucking a guy and I'm sort of in the background, but it's a bit more complex than that. Like she's involving me in other ways, looks and touches and moments of dialogue, and those moments for me are important. And if she wasn't doing those things, that would put me off immediately because then it's taking it out of the play situation and turning it into something I didn't want. There we go.
I think
And if they smell.
And you're applying that to anyone if they generally
Yeah.
smell.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You as well, Mrs. H.
Thanks.
I think for me, it's when people sort of approach me from I could make a good blog post.
Oh.
I'm like, that's not why I got into thing. The blog was very much was a secondary thing in the whole sort of lifestyle. So that does sort of grind my gears a little bit when people just assume that if we have an encounter that I'm then going to write about it in the blog. I mean, as Topper knows, I very rarely write anything for the blog.
I bet if I can jump in, I bet this is true of the hoppers as well. I bet sometimes you have people approach you with this idea as, I'd be really good coming and being part of this. And it's not.
It's
what
a
we're doing this
really
at all.
off-putting thing. I think the thing is that everyone assumes they have a story to tell, and I suspect that everyone does indeed have a story, right? And we're all entitled to have the thought that the thing that we do is the most interesting thing to anybody else. But the reality is that actually when you talk to people and when you get a sense of who they are and how they work and what they've been up to, that doesn't always connect with your blog or your show or whatever it is. So there has to be a level of honesty. And if someone just automatically assumes that they can go, oh yeah, I've got a great thing, or you should interview Dave. Dave's fucking hilarious. It'll be great for your show. Chances are it's not going to be a great match. Yeah. But sometimes you talk to people and you get a spark from them. You're like, actually, you're worth elevating that story, or it's worth talking to you and sharing that with other people. It's not to say that people aren't worthy of that. Yeah. But sometimes it just doesn't match with your temperament, your style, your show, whatever it might be that you're trying to promote. So it can be quite difficult, because we've had a number of people that have come on and been like, oh yeah, I'll be great. I'll be on your show. I'm the most interesting thing you've ever spoken to. The reality is there's nothing more irritating than that, because there's an assumption that they are right they're a great fit for you. And ultimately you are your own producer. You decide what goes into your content and what makes the cut and what's worth telling. And if we told everybody everything, they wouldn't believe us, and B, they'd be bored senseless about every little detail. It'd be like, oh, and then we did this, and then we did that, and then we did this, which it just doesn't. It's not fun for the listener, for the reader, for whatever it is. So I'm with you on this. I just think it winds me up the wrong way. There's a level of assumption, and I hate assumption.
Yeah.
And I'd rather that as content producers that we work to tell a good story rather than just tell a story for the sake of putting somebody's name in the frame.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than glamorizing your experiences just to make a good story.
Yeah. And people should approach you because they're interested in you as a person, not just because of what content you're attached to. Yeah, you as a brand, perhaps.
Agree.
Yeah.
I have one more question before we flip these guys off.
No,
I thought we were flipping you off.
Yeah, but you've asked too many already.
No, I've got one more after
the
you.
Flipping off works both ways.
Fine.
Does it? Okay, fine.
Well, I have a question that Stag insisted I include.
Oh no, what the hell?
I need to include this because I think he'll be upset if I don't. So how meta is this? He actually included his own question to go in the questions that we're asking now.
General listeners, this was a gag
This
question.
sounds a bit like someone coming up to me and going, you know what would be great on your show? Me. You know what would be a great question? This one.
Me.
Well, we've discussed this all day and it feels wrong not to include it.
Well, then.
So asking for a friend here.
Are you going to insert this question?
I'm going to insert it.
Okay.
Is 11 inches too big?
Secret Vixen.
Discuss. I think he actually wants to know from Vixen's perspective, and he just doesn't want to.
I
doesn't want to
tend
ask
to
her.
suddenly pull out a measuring tape beforehand. I don't know.
Well, maybe the question should be: does size matter in your encounters?
In my personal encounters, I'm going to actually say I don't think size does matter. I think it is more how the equipment is used.
But do you have a size preference?
I don't think I do.
But I always say if you had two people of equal skill and one had a slightly bigger one.
I mean, I've not been in that
lines in front of
situation.
you.
This feels like an opportunity. This feels like a research opportunity. So we
Does a
need
little
to
bit, doesn't
find
it?
two
I
people
tried to,
with
I'm
the
sorry.
same skill,
Twins.
but different size penises.
Twins with different sized penises.
Please contact us.
Yes, contact them. Don't contact us.
For
we
an
don't
experiment.
care for this
For
experiment.
research, obviously, for science.
I think there's something around with size that there seems to be a happy medium. It's like too
Is that
hot.
a size?
It's a
specific size? A
But
happy medium?
It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's like
Too hot.
too cold.
Too
so
salty.
too small.
Oh,
or
no.
too,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Too salty. You
Yeah.
had to put that in there.
I'm sorry, but that is in the Goldilocks story.
Are you sure
That
it's
is-
not too sweet?
Yes.
And no, one of them has one that's too sweety,
Why
one has
would
that's
they be
too
too
salty, I swear,
salty?
and then one that's just
What
right.
about cocks
Are
or
you
porridge?
sure?
Is it not just too cold, too warm, and too hot?
And too
then
sweet.
too
Oh,
big a bed,
maybe.
too small a bed, and
It's
just the
too
right size?
sweet.
No, I've
No,
made
Secret
my
Vixen
own
wants to
version.
she's talking about jizz now. It's completely different.
No.
But my point is that the conversations that
Yes.
I've had is
Let's go back.
that if you go there is such a thing as, I guess, too small for many women. And there is such a thing as too big, but somewhere for the vast majority of people out there is a scale which is acceptable.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I'm
my
not quite
take
sure
on
where the saltiness comes in.
it. Yeah, but
Whose porridge is too salty?
Maybe I'm just going
What?
down. My dad really likes salty porridge. My mum
my
really
God.
likes sweet porridge.
To move it back onto the whole wifing thing, away from my wife's family porridge preferences.
You wait. Everyone's
No.
going to say about salty porridge.
Stop it. I would enjoy seeing my wife with a person with an 11-inch cock because
Oh, really? You don't
I
say.
enjoy seeing my wife have experiences.
Yes, but is that because of the kind of orthodox porn ideals that is thrust on you?
Correct.
Because you watch porn and there's obviously going to be a
Yes.
kind of preference to watching people with giant wangs. Let's face it. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, look at this porn video with like a guy with a really small wiener. It's going to be a big willy, right? So
Yes.
is that coming from what has been kind of fed into you?
Sort of. I think pornography can be quite formative in terms of guiding you along what you are into and what you're not into.
So
And,
ultimately you want to see a giant willy.
I mean, I've seen her with some really lovely willies. So
Lovely.
Lovely Willie.
she's had a great time. She had a great time.
Oh,
That's very Mary
lovely
Poppins. Isn't it?
willies.
Lovely willy.
Lovely Willies. Practically perfect. Oh, we've gone down Sweeney Todd.
Lovely
And yet
willies.
surely her favoured penis size is going to be based more around what feels comfortable, because there's genuinely a level of comfort to be had from an oversized one. I'm going to be honest, it's just not pleasant sometimes.
Yeah. I got her to say some of her favourite cocks she's ever played with. She didn't mention mine, by the way.
Is yours 11 inches?
Maybe.
Too big.
There's some present company.
Maybe
might be in
that's
there.
why she's not mentioned it.
You don't need to inflate his ego more.
That's my ego.
Oh God.
Oh.
No, as always, and it's always in life as well. It's not the cock; it's the person it's
It is.
attached
It's
to.
the person it's attached to.
As with all bits and pieces of people's bodies, always the person first.
It's not the size of the wave, it's the motion of the ocean.
Exactly that.
It
Well, I'm
is.
going to cut in with a final question before we.
Flip off.
You get to flip us off.
Hooray.
Hey.
So, my question is, and we've asked things like, what are people's favourite movies and that sort of stuff. My question for you is, what is your favourite ever TV show?
Oh my goodness.
Ever.
Oh, that's a lot. Oh,
You get one answer. That's all you're allowed. You can talk about it, but you get one answer.
I might cry if I talk about it.
Oh no,
I know what hers is.
Oh, we know what that's going to be.
My favourite of all time, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Good choice. I enjoy that.
Oh, I don't want to
Love
say
that.
mine now.
Absolutely love it. Hers is. I know what yours is. Go on, tell us.
Do you want to sing the theme tune?
No, I'm not going to, but mine is Neighbours. And I'm very, very sad that it's about to end. Damn you, Channel 5. Bring it back.
They kept it alive for as long as they could.
Oh, they didn't.
They really
It
did.
had so much life left in it.
It's been going for like
37
70 years, right?
37.
37.
Literally, it's been in my life, my whole life.
Yeah, me too.
But it's fine, let's move on.
Okay, do we need to pour one out for the ones that we've lost?
Can we raise a glass, please, to Neighbours?
Are we actually doing this? We're okay.
Yes, we
Well,
are.
I'm just going to raise my glass anyway because I need to drink after that.
We are literally living at this moment in the time of TV.
Band of
There's-
Brothers would be yours as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to also make me sad. Let's not talk about Band
Is
of
that
Brothers.
Sean Bean?
No.
No idea then.
But Tom Hardy is in an episode
Right.
of Band of Brothers.
Okay. I know who he is.
Yes.
Looks a bit warry
Damien
for
Lewis.
It's very
It is. It's
boring.
very boring.
Yeah,
It's
it's a bit
kind of
boring for
D-Day
me.
land.
Yes, I know what it is. I've seen it. I have seen it.
Lots of big names have been in it. Scott Grimes as well. We were talking about Rick and Morty earlier.
And there we go.
There you go.
Scott Grimes and Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I did face as well.
No,
No, not Rick
Orville.
and Morty. No, Orville. That's what we're talking about. I don't know. What were we talking about?
Just throwing out things that you've not seen
I'm
now.
sure-
Think about all that great television you've watched, like Rick and Morty, which you've not seen.
Stranger Things.
Ah,
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things is good.
Right, I think it is now time for you guys to flip us off. So
Yeah.
you now have the reins. Question us. Be gentle, please.
So we have got some serious questions, and then we have got some not so serious questions.
Absolutely.
So we will start with the serious questions. Can non-monogamy be for everyone?
Yes. Next question.
Oh, you suck.
Good Lord, really?
No, I don't. I okay.
Wow.
Honestly, no.
We want more.
I just okay.
No,
So
I don't think so.
I don't think it is. I agree, and I think there is the potential for it to be for everybody, in that anyone can have a go at it. But I think there are certain mindsets that don't work with it, and I think as much as social norms have sort of filtered how we see the world and what we're led to believe, I think that in part is a barrier, but I think just some people aren't built for it. I think had the social barriers been removed, then a lot more people would be able to partake in non-monogamy. But actually the reality is that for some people, it just won't be their jam.
I think there's more to it than the social norms kind of giving you the steer on whether it's right for you or not. I think sometimes emotions are just too prevalent in a relationship for it to work effectively. So, it could be that actually you just don't have enough emotional resilience in your relationship to withstand the emotional onslaught that is inevitable with any level of watching your loved one with somebody else. And whilst for some that may be a stimulant, like watching someone else do something could turn you on, but also it could really unravel you really rapidly.
I agree.
So I think the emotional side is just as much as the social orthodox kind of, this is how we're supposed to be and this is not the norm.
I'd also say that length of relationship and building of trust play a huge part in this, especially if you're going in as a duo or more. Because I think, I know that if we'd have gone in any earlier than we did, it would have caused massive issues for us because we just weren't in the right space.
We weren't ready.
And the moment that we got in was the moment that it was right for us.
I agree.
And some people, they might try it and go, whoa, we're not ready for this shit. And they might come back in a couple of years when they've built that level of trust or they feel comfortable with themselves. And then it is a right thing for them. Others, it just won't ever be the right time.
I think you've got to have a very solid foundation of a relationship to withstand it. And I think if there's any cracks at all in your relationship, then this will really rapidly expose them.
Absolutely.
It will really unhinge you.
I think you've said previously in the past, Mrs. H, that the lifestyle, whatever non-monogamous lifestyle you think of, is not a plaster to be put on broken
it's
things.
To enhance what you have.
Precisely.
It can't patch up a bad marriage. It can't replace something in a relationship that's broken, because it will just expose the bits that make you unhappy already and compound them.
I think that's true. I think it can give some longevity to a relationship that is in its dying moments.
Yeah.
But I think, ultimately all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable. And I know Cooper S. Beckett in some of his some of the stuff that he's written talks about how it sort of prolonged the death of his marriage and that it gave them excitement, it gave them focus, and it took away from the issues that they were facing at the real core. But actually that relationship still ended, but it did give it a jolt in the arm for a period.
Yeah,
but I would say, ultimately it feels to me like it should be for everyone, but you've got to be in the right space, the right mindset and the right relationship for it to be successful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I mean, that's fair enough.
Next question.
Thank you for that, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought long and hard about this question. It's quite an original, out there question.
This is going to be a DuckTales.
If you could go back to the start,
Deja vu.
what, if anything, would you do differently?
I'd come up and meet you.
Brand new information.
You changed the questions the way you
Tell you I'm sorry.
I would definitely involve Coldplay in my relationships.
No one needs that.
Their lyrics are just, unfounded in terms of like saying it how it is.
Unparalleled.
Yeah. If we could go back to the start and redo this.
Or we could just wait for Secret Stag to pour his fucking drink.
It's not my drink, it's my wife's drink.
And your drink. I know there's two drinks that have been poured.
My drink was absolutely sufficient, but she looked at me like...
And now he's pouring a secondary drink on
this
top
is
of
the
his first
second
drink.
part of the same drink.
Welcome to the interactive drink pouring sessions.
If you could go back,
ASMR.
we'd have had mega pints and we wouldn't have to...
If we'd had mega, everything
If
would
there's
be
one
fine.
thing you do not need in your lives, it is mega pints.
So, Mrs. H.
Yes. Right. If we could go back and redo this again. So I'm answering this first. I mean, you can have your say, because I can see you already getting ready
Chomping
to
at the
getting ready to run away. Like, look at him. He's like, I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk. Right. If we could go back and redo this, I would probably... I don't think I'd change a whole lot. If I'm honest, I don't think we've made any monumental fuck-ups that have made me think fuck, we royally messed that up and we need to redo it all. Because I think actually what you do as you go along defines how you play the next phase and things. So I don't think we should have undone all of it and started again. But if we could redo it, I'd probably be a bit more careful with my alcohol intake. Because most certainly when there have been things that haven't gone quite right, they've mostly been linked with me not maybe drinking too much. I'll be quite honest and take that on my chin. In fact, actually, we've both probably drunk too much along the way.
This evening?
No.
As we all like sit here again.
No, generally speaking, the trouble with alcohol is it gives you obviously the Dutch courage to take forward the kind of all the stuff you want to do and takes the inhibitions away, but it also makes you a right twat. So I would probably take some of that away and redo that with a little bit more decorum, for one. And secondly, I think I would be better at asking for what I want maybe a little earlier on and not assuming that people can either A, read my mind, or B, just figure out what the fuck it is I need to kind of enjoy myself sometimes. Because I think ultimately it's a two-way process. And if you want to get some great stuff out of it, then you absolutely can, but you probably need to be honest about what you need to do that. So I regret maybe not being a little bit more forthcoming with some of those conversations in the early stages.
That's fair. I think, I would probably just reassure myself that people are generally quite interested. I think part of the initial journey for me was very much that it took us a long time to find people that we were interested in and that we felt like were a good fit. And the hanging on in there was turbulent and difficult and not traumatic, but there were some moments where we did things perhaps that we shouldn't have done. So for me, it's about saying, well, actually, just be true to who you are and hang in there, buddy, because it will get better, I promise. And you will meet people like your good selves that are fantastic and amazing and that will fill that gap that you think is there. But it's not easy, and it's to know that it's not easy is often the piece. I always kind of felt like going into this, you might meet someone within a week, at first, and then when we were like, oh my god, this is weird. Then we met a single lady, and then it was just this strange, elongated phase of tons of meets where it all went wrong, or they weren't right for us, or we just couldn't find our tribe. And I think had I known that there was light at the end of the tunnel and to be true to looking for what I wanted to look for, that would have made a bit of difference. It probably would have made it a bit easier, I think.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
You don't have to thank me for everyone. It's okay. You can do.
Should we do a fun one?
No, we're sticking with serious first, and then we'll go to the silly ones. What has been the best part of being a swinger for you?
A swinger.
Swinger.
That term.
Member of the lifestyle.
Oh.
Non-monogamy lifestyle.
For me, the best part has actually been the reclamation sex that they talk about so much. And
I'd say it was reconnection rather than reclamation.
Whatever you want to call it. Reclamation, reconnection, basically the coming together again afterwards. So you can have an experience like great or not great, or actually just an experience generally. And then when you get together after that experience, no matter whether it be the same night, the next day, or whatever it is always amazing. So for me, it's like oh wow, this is awesome. And I love the high that gives me and the kind of chance to fall in love all over again in a way. Even though I love him dearly, it's just always amazing to reconnect with him.
There is something amazing about going on the adventure together. And I think that's kind of been one of my favorite things, is that we get to do this as a duo, and we get to go off and, explore new territories and new things. I think we say this a lot though, so I feel like I need to give a slightly different answer.
Okay.
And it's not an answer that we go back to, but actually some of the people that we've connected with, and there's not just and we talked about the friendship element, building amazing friends and building amazing connections, but the sexy times when they are, thank you, Secret Vixen, for elbowing me in the side there. Yes, you are one of those people.
Thank you.
building those connections, building those friends, but the sexy times that go with it is actually, it makes up a huge part of it. And I think often we kind of sweep it under the carpet a little bit because it's a bit, it's the sexy part. Yeah, everyone assumes that's the bit that's going to be great. And we as a group, Mrs. H and I, we talk about the friendship, the building of networks and the connections and the altruism of it all. But actually the sexy part when it works and it's with amazing people is also really cool.
Yeah, agreed.
And I don't want to take away from that fun that goes with that. Granted, it's nowhere near as amazing as reconnecting with Mrs. H at the end of the day. But I don't want to also say that, oh no, it's not at all about the sex with the people. Because actually, that bit, when it is good, is really, really fun.
I think it's a really honest answer as well. The sex is an important part of the dynamic with lifestyle friends.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. Me, is it?
It's over to you.
Have you highlighted this one?
I have highlighted the question, so you.
So we talked about some of the things that are a real big plus and a real positive in the lifestyle, but it's not all perfect. So what frustrates you most about the lifestyle?
Mrs. H getting ready. Just
didn't even take a moment to think. That just came out.
There'll be no editing.
Sensible voice and everything.
There was no processing. You were like, but.
Oh shit!
It's just the time it takes to get out in the car. No, I'm joking.
No
Well,
oh dear.
It actually, that's not my worst at all. But it does make me laugh because you folks turned up earlier today, and I greet you outside. I wait, usher you into the house, and I'm like, Mrs. H is going to be another 10 minutes. She's still drying out.
But we're used to that now.
We are. That doesn't mean it's the right thing.
This is not lifestyle specific. I feel like Mrs. H wouldn't be getting ready in time even if she wasn't in the lifestyle.
I know. Even if she wasn't doing
It's
anything.
irrelevant if it's lifestyle or not. I would take exactly the same amount of time.
Overall.
Hearsay.
Overall.
Where's my mega pint?
Genuinely, the thing that
That's a rat.
Okay.
I mean, I've spoken recently about the quality of messages that we get and the just the people not reading your profiles. I think the bit that really irks me is just around some of the attitudes to people. And I think when people are laissez-faire with safety and when they,
Oh gosh.
we heard the other day, people got in touch to say that another show was talking about the use of condoms with oil lube. And this is just dangerous. And I kind of want everyone to be safe. I want everyone to regularly get tested. I want everyone to use condoms. And I guess, it's not everyone's jam. That's fine. And they can do their own thing. But for the vast majority of people, I want them to be able to enjoy this, to dip their toes or anything else in and come away safe and great in their relationship so that nothing can, that's going to have a lasting impact other than perhaps the emotional content that comes with it.
100% with you, Mr. H, I should say.
You can call me whatever you want, mate. You know me enough by now, yeah.
He punched me in the arm when he made that type mistake.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. You can call it what you like.
We've had people approach us from like the hot wife cuckold side of things, and in a similar way, taking sort of unnecessary risks, making dangerous choices in terms of unprotected sex, not testing, things of that nature, which are completely, to be frank, unnecessary.
Yeah.
And dangerous, and you need to just look after yourself. And so I completely agree with you there, Mr. H. Absolutely.
What about you, Mrs. H? What frustrates you?
What frustrates me is people making assumptions that just because I am non-monogamous and I have an open relationship, it means that I have sex with everything with a pulse. And so just because I am non-monogamous, it doesn't mean I have sex with everything.
Sometimes you like having sex things without a pulse.
Sometimes I do prefer the
Your vampiric
the non-pulse
shenanigans, yes. But
no, I think
sometimes the lower the pulse, the better. No, it's the assumption that just because I am a swinger, I have sex with anything that moves, and that's just not the case. I'm remarkably picky and I'm very choosy. It just as if I was not non-monogamous, basically. Like, why would it be any different? It doesn't mean that because you swing or are non-monogamous that you have exponentially more sex with anything and your standards are lowered in some way. And that's just simply not the case, at least not for me. And I understand that you can't yuck someone's yum, and like some people really favour the fact that their lifestyle may afford them the opportunity to just hook up randomly with people. And that's fine. If that's what we like, that's what we like. It's not my thing, but it could absolutely be someone else's jam, and that's fine. But I just don't like the assumption that people jump to that that's what I do. So I spend a lot of time trying to normalize what we do and trying to bust those kind of myths that we don't just go and fucking everything. It's literally not the case. We are extremely fussy. We like to do exactly the same things that people with a hobby like golf do. They like to socialise. They like to go and have dinner.
Holes.
We like to go.
my
You
God.
are literally not doing me any
Really?
favours here. I like to go have drinks and dinner with people. I don't like to just rush straight into let's go and have some sex because I have an open marriage. That's just a really wrong
And
assumption.
I think that goes back to a previous episode that you've recently done, which talks about how that you like to sort of build upon relationships before you dive in.
I agree.
Yes,
I mean, how many? I'm
100%.
sure you've lost count of how many messages you've got on Fab, which you just got messaged with that assumption
In a
mind.
hotel room.
Yeah,
now,
you
come
know
over.
what?
Yeah,
My worst
yeah.
message nightmare is when someone messages, hey, have fun tonight. Start with a 4, obviously, you know.
Obviously, yeah.
And a 2 for tonight.
Where's the 4 in that message?
For
Out
fun.
for fun.
For fun with a 4, with a number 4
I knew you were
numeric.
down with the kids.
They actually might be messaging on a Nokia 3210 though,
really,
and
just
using the
because-
letters
In between
the numbers.
playing
Just
Snake.
because I'm on a site that, promotes maybe some level of promiscuity and maybe promotes kind of open relationships. Why would I want to just go off and fuck you? I've never met you. Who are you? Why would you assume that's my
Yeah,
thing?
and again, that's not saying that people who are into sort of more sort of just random hookups like that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, but again, it's just the assumption. It's the assumption
It's that
that
assumption that I'm just
you're going to
really
drop it
free
all.
and easy with it all, and I'm just going to open my legs and do whatever.
Manners
Not-
maketh man.
Correct.
And the approach is paramount. I think it's absolutely fine to suggest a random hookup, but the way in which you suggest that is the important bit to me. It's as long as we get the opportunity to say, no, thank you, that's not our thing,
Right.
and someone accepts that honestly and openly, then that's okay.
Yeah, this drives me mad.
So the next question, we're now going to come away a little bit from the lifestyle. We're going to
Okay.
have a bit of fun now.
All right.
So I want you both to picture the Avengers in your head.
Mhm.
Always.
Yeah,
Comic
okay.
book or MCU?
Either. I don't really mind. If you were to snog, marry, avoid,
Mhm.
who would you snog? Who would you marry? Who would you avoid? I'm going to go to Mrs. H first.
Oh,
Mr. H, I'm
wow.
particularly
Look,
interested
he's-
because of the
he's
male
livid.
nature of the Avengers, where
There's
you're going
not
to
a
go with
whole lot of choice.
He is livid that he can't talk once again first. He's like,
He's livid.
fuck.
it.
Look at his
Mrs.
little
Mrs.
face.
H.
Who would I avoid? I'm going to do the avoid first.
Yeah.
I'm going to avoid Captain America. Sorry, get in the bin. Don't want him.
Oh
no,
my
no, no,
gosh.
no for me.
It's not
No.
even avoiding, that's savage. In the bin. Wow. Okay.
I've just been
fine.
out there. I
It's
don't-
seriously
I
worthy.
don't
What are you
like
doing?
him. I'm sorry if you're listening at that.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
want you.
Oh. Okay.
Chris
fine.
Evans was coming round later.
Quick,
I'm not
quick,
interested.
call him. So sorry.
I'm not interested. He does nothing for me. When he grew a beard, I was more interested.
Okay.
But even then, no.
Oh, so who would you snog?
Mm.
You can't say all of the others.
I'm going to go with Black Widow.
That's a strong
why?
choice.
Right, and she's
Strong
got
choice.
Do you wanna know
very,
why?
very kissable lips. I think it's a really fair observation. She wears a lot of black spandex, I think. Has a different haircut in every movie.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, wow, okay.
So who would you marry?
Don't really want to marry any of them, but fine. If I have
You
to.
have to. I've got a gun to your head. Who are you going to marry?
I really. I mean, there's so many I haven't mentioned. I mean, I definitely want to like mess around with Iron Man.
That wasn't a question.
I know,
It's
but
not snog marry, mess around, fondle with.
Yeah.
can I
Play
not
Touch
with,
under the
twiddle,
table.
Can I
Yeah.
not just mess around with Iron Man?
fondle.
Yes, you can mess around with Iron Man. You're doing that on the side, but who are you married to?
Don't want to marry. Oh, all right, Vision.
I knew you were going to say
Vision.
Vision.
Oh, wow,
I literally had
really?
this. I had a vision that you were going to say
Is
Vision.
it because he can phase through walls and like get stuff for you?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe handy.
Phase through you.
Yeah, or phase through you.
I just really nice guy.
He seems
He
nice.
seems lovely, right? I mean, I've got a real fondness for Mark Ruffalo, but that's
what?
more Mark Ruffalo as a whole.
Okay.
Poor Ant-Man's never going to forgive you. What about?
Oh, no. Oh, God, I like Paul
That's Paul
Rudd,
Rudd.
though.
Again,
It's a deadly game. It's a deadly game.
I'm going to call him up, say, sorry, Paul.
Who are you going to avoid, though? That's...
I told you, Captain
Captain
America.
America.
Listening?
Oh, I
He's
was
gone.
listening.
He's
I'm
in
sorry
the
about that.
bin. He's
in the bin.
literally been shit canned already.
Wow.
Jesus.
She didn't even take a moment to think.
No,
that was next stroke.
no.
I know.
He's straight in the bin. But I
This is
definitely
good
want
stuff.
to mess around and snog with multiple of them.
You just want to be in the middle of all of them, don't you?
Maybe big Avenger
Big
sandwich.
pile.
Would you allow Captain America in there?
No.
though? Oh, wow.
He can't even be in the pile.
Is he
Oh my
going to be in a
God.
cage?
I don't be in a cage.
In a cage.
Not even because he's weak, because he's not. I just don't fancy him.
Wow.
I'm sorry,
He's got
Captain
super serum
America.
enhanced
I don't care. That's not everything.
Fair enough.
Okay, fair enough.
I just don't fancy his face or
That's fine.
anything. And it's
So, Mr. H,
Oh, this is
you can't just name all the
really
females.
difficult.
We want genuine.
Genuine answers. Okay, so right, so what have we got? So Mary, I'm going to go with Valkyrie.
Who?
Oh, good
Okay, good choice.
Strong
Good choice.
choice.
I don't think I bat for her team, but
The one from Thor.
I was just saying,
Yeah, I
you
don't
don't
think
comic book or
she-
film.
Either, but she
MCU
seems nice in
Valkyrie,
either way.
one
You know,
for you.
and
I
that's
think
fine.
she'd leave you for a woman, I'll be honest.
Yeah, but
All right.
that's been a risk
It's a
that I've
bit of a
lived with
flaky
for a long
marriage.
time already. So
I think you might be a beard. Marriage of
Who are you going
convenience.
to snog?
Snog. I'm going to go Gamora.
You are going off the
another
female
strong
characters.
choice.
He is disappointing.
Okay, all right.
So the avoid's going to be easy. Everyone else
Captain
who's got a
America's been
penis.
shit canned already. Can't you bring
I
me
wouldn't,
back?
I wouldn't
Anyone
avoid
with a
Cap.
penis
I like
has gone.
Cap. Cap is cool.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't snog him,
Who are we
right?
avoiding then?
Oh, Avengers wise, this is true. Probably Scarlet Witch.
I was like, Wanda Maximoff, she's nuts.
Why?
She's a maniac. Because she's an absolute maniac.
She's a dickhead.
Yeah, I
She's got the fingers that do all the things.
She's an
so
absolute
right.
twat.
You can find out later about that.
She always messes around
Who's a
time
noisy
and
mate?
portals and shit.
She is a lunatic.
She literally is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In the comics, she's even more
yeah,
mad.
she is kind of insane, and I think she might want to fuck her brother, which is probably
Yeah,
not a good thing. I don't think there's a great selection of choice if we're going down a heteronormative route
totally
from a man's
going down that
perspective.
route.
No Scott, no Black Widow though.
No, I don't-
No Black
no,
Widow.
no.
Is that because Mrs. H has nicked her? While
Mrs. H
she's
is
fucking
already
around with
Yeah.
Iron Man, Black
Yeah.
Widow's on the side.
I honestly,
Under a bit of cement.
She doesn't. As a character, she doesn't do a great deal for me. As an
That's
actress,
fair.
doesn't do a massive amount. Unless it's in Don John, in which case that was quite amusing. But she's not. I'm not particularly keen, to be fair. But you know, there's some interesting ladies
Nice.
out there in the MCU.
I believe Captain America is free at the moment. So.
Oh, he's literally weeping into his shield as we speak.
Go on then.
Binned off by Mrs. H.
This question, this next one's going to take all of a minute to answer.
Oh, is it?
It's just, I'm telling you, it's going to take a minute to answer.
All right.
Okay.
Favourite movie trilogy?
This is... Oh, no, he went...
So
Oh.
okay, so Star Wars would probably be
Yeah.
where my heart is at. Notable mentions. Back to the Future, I think.
Yeah.
would be on the-
Nice.
Lord of the Rings, obviously.
Yes.
Although technically it's one film, one
So it's not-
book.
so it's not-
But
it's
a
not,
movie trilogy, I suppose.
Not Twilight then.
No, that's five
of them.
films.
5 of them.
5, fuck off.
Many.
Yeah.
It's many.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
It's 5
There's
Twilight
part 1 and
films.
2, isn't
Who
there?
made 5?
People
You
made a
made
lot
me
of
watch
money.
the fucking cunting things. They were
I
terrible.
made you watch
Wow.
2.
Aren't there 4?
There's 5.
No, there's 1, 2,
Why
3,
there's
4.
five?
4 has part
Part
1 and
two's
part
in- yeah.
2, I think.
That's
part 4, yeah, part
outrageous.
5, part 4.
Shovelface got a lot of money. That's the important thing.
A lot of money.
They got a lot of money.
Okay.
for that.
And Batson.
I'd also
Just
go
came
with
out of it.
Godfather, so I'm going to go down that
it's
route.
good, it's good, it's good.
Godfather. There's tons of movie trilogies that I love and adore, but
Wow.
that would Star Wars is where my heart is. And
What
then the
about
original
Indiana
trilogy.
Jones and the Crystal Skull?
That's
That doesn't
4
count
films.
as the
Soon to be
fourth one.
5 films, so that can't count, right? Surely.
I can't.
But does Star Wars even count now as a trilogy?
Exactly.
There's
That's
like
not a
exactly, there's
trilogy.
9
There's
of them,
like
so-
9,
many.
10, 11 of those.
There's at least
fuckers.
20.
Yeah, there's I think
I don't think we should.
7 this
I don't
week.
think we should have to exclude Star Wars as a trilogy from our trilogy question.
It is the
because there
Holy
are-
Trilogy,
Should
as
we
far
just
as
say
I'm concerned.
series
Correct.
instead of
A
trilogy?
movie series, that's a different thing entirely.
Movie series.
It's definitely
Oh.
not Fast and the Furious, I can assure you on that front.
Fast and the Furious,
It's minus
7,000.
minus the Land Before Time.
Oh, that's many now before time.
It's 2000. They churn out one of those every 6 weeks, mate. I'll tell you, it's an interesting one.
Mrs. H, what's your
Well,
favourite?
I'm disappointed, Mr. H, that you haven't even brought up the 50 Shades of Grey trilogy.
So
like
true.
literally, I was as a swinger,
I didn't even talk about the Transformer films, and there's like 5 of them fuckers.
Yeah, you missed Pitch
not
Perfect
even
as well.
gone there
Yeah.
with 50 Shades of Grey and Miss Those Bastards as well.
Are you sure there's 3? It felt like there was
I
a lot
watched
of them.
Plus me was 3.
Okay.
There's a lot to sit
Way
through.
too many.
What about Underworld films?
I liked Underworld. Underworld was good.
Underworld 1. Yeah. And then
I'm assuming you just like Kate Beckinsale and shiny
I
clothes.
enjoy
Oh, yeah,
Kate
she's
Beckinsale and
wearing
shiny
leather.
things. This is the thing.
Yes.
Oh no, I think it was real leather.
Well, maybe I'm just going to put it out there and go with the Omen trilogy.
of the Poltergeist trilogy there. That's terrible. Like, one is great and the rest of it is like diminishing returns. Jaws, there's 4 of those.
I can't
There are 5 of
choose
them.
There are
Star
only
Wars.
a
You've
few
already
films
chosen it.
which the sequel and even the third one are of even close in quality terms. Like Back to the Future, I think is good. The third one maybe.
Oh, I
Not,
love
but
the
Godfather's.
third one. It's got
Godfather. Star
cowboys.
Wars, the original ones, of course.
And, Lord of the Rings is diminishing returns. I mean, it peaked with 2, as we all know.
Now, funny that you should say about Lord of the Rings, because actually that's our next question.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So, of the Fellowship, which member are you both?
I'm fucking Gandalf.
Literally?
You're fucking Gandalf.
You're fucking it, wow.
I resonate
I think
so
I've got
much
more
with
chance
him.
on this one.
I don't think you played. Yeah, there you go.
I think you might have some objections.
Yeah, you shall not pass on this one.
I mean, I arrive exactly when I intend to. I'm just working on wizard time my whole life.
And when you're
I
around
like
there
to
is
drink. I like
fireworks
to
always.
imbibe. He's always got a fucking drink in his hand. Like, dude, got
pipe.
it. He's nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's always got a smoke as well, but sadly, that bit of fun got excluded from my life thanks to Mr. H. Fine.
No,
We were
talked about-
literally talking about this today.
Why do you think she's bringing it out?
Oh.
I can identify with Gandalf on many levels. I'm not as tall as he is, but yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm benevolent but scary, like he is.
Okay. For one, I want to know why my dog is wandering around endlessly.
She's
In your basket.
she's off to Mordor.
I know she's like taking the hobbits there.
Are you one of the hobbits?
Yeah, I think I am one of the
he's
hobbits.
good
I think
one of the
that's.
Oh, which one though?
Are you Pippin?
Pippin.
Yeah,
Pippin.
you're
Pippin.
Pippin. Yeah,
Pippin.
you're
Wow.
Pippin.
I think-
You're mischievous in
I-
a lovable way.
Thank you. I think
It's his feet,
there's
isn't
no
it?
way anyone would trust me with something like the
Yeah.
ring. Because that would just it wouldn't work. And plus, Carolyn would steal it and use it for evil.
Wow.
And
You're right.
This is
100%.
true. 100% true.
100. You never see me again.
I don't think I
Go on,
can do
Sam.
that. No, I don't. I'd have to carry someone. That sounds like. Whereas I could be just in.
You just
Like
want to be
getting-
eating the salted pork.
Yeah, like getting drunk,
Whoa.
smoking.
Smoking pipe.
Dancing
Yeah.
on tables.
Yeah.
You could be a Sam. You're an amazing friend. You could be a
You're a
Sam.
good friend.
Thank you, but
Yeah.
it sounds like a lot of effort. So
And
I
plus,
could
you get on quite well with Gandalf
That's true.
here and there.
full of a took.
Whereas Pippin does not.
My favourite thing about Sam, I read once that everyone says they wish they could have a friend like Sam because he's so good. But actually, everyone should actually try to be a friend like Sam.
Oh.
That's my thing.
Legend.
May I pass this on to Secret Vixen? Because I'd like to know who she thinks she would be.
Oh.
I think.
I think I'd be Mary.
Really?
I think I'm.
Oh, really?
I've got a bit of a sense.
Because you're good at telling off Pippin.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a I've got a bit of a sensible head on me, but
This would
Or that
explain
or
why,
Legolas.
why you and I keep making out all the time.
Oh my god.
that's a very different Lord of the Rings.
It's a merry different Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, I think I'd be Mary.
Okay.
Oh.
I think
I
I'd be.
don't want to be Legolas prancing
No.
around, even though he's good
No
with a bow
one's
and
chosen
arrow.
Legolas.
I think I'd be. I'd be
Don't be
Frodo.
Legolas.
Hear me
No,
out.
you're Sam.
No, because I'd be Frodo because I just go along with it. Even though I'm
No.
trying to do the right thing, and in the end, I still do the wrong thing. That's me.
Oh, no, I think you're Sam.
I do the right thing right up to the final moment.
And then you're like,
I'm like,
nah,
fuck it.
I don't want to do
Fuck
it.
it.
I'm going to keep,
I did the
holding
wrong
this
thing.
ring. It's my ring.
Bitch is mine.
It's my ring. Watch me.
Oh, I think you like sharing too much.
I do
You
like
give
sharing.
that ring away to every fucker. You really would.
Yeah, you
You'd be like,
would.
hey,
Love
I
that
got a
shit.
straight ring. You
It's
want to go
your
on it?
turn now.
Yeah, it's your go. You have a go on the ring. I'll watch you wear it.
I do love that shit.
Yeah, he would. Look at the pictures this ring's taken.
Yeah. Oh my god. Secret Vixen banned the last question, so we can't ask
What
that
was,
question.
no,
Oh my
that wasn't the
goodness.
last question. We do have some. Oh,
this is
a
the
nice
last question. That's a very naughty question.
This is,
I
this is,
jumped.
I have a serious
I jumped.
question. I have a serious
All right.
question.
All right.
I
Could
jumped.
you obviously we
No,
talked
that's not
about.
the question.
Oh, what's the question yours on?
What is your favourite thing about one another? Oh, yeah.
It's the
I have
fact
to
that she
have-
likes me.
Doesn't count.
Likes, tolerate.
Tolerates, yeah.
Absolute cad.
Puts up with. I think the thing about Mrs. H is that lots of people that don't really know her think that she's absolutely frightening and terrifying. And this happens in both a work circumstance, a home circumstance, and in a lifestyle circumstance. But actually, when you get to know her, she is one of the most caring, giving, and understanding and helpful people that I've ever met. And one of the things that I've seen her do is, I've seen her literally rush over to people in the street that have hurt themselves and administer first aid and pull these people back together and make sure they get in an ambulance or get to the right place. Or she's genuinely saved lives, and people don't see that. And I see that every day, and I'm very fortunate that I get to witness that. She's probably crying at this point.
No.
She's close to it, probably.
Think about my favourite cat food commercial.
That's what I thought. But I think the thing is that people see her as this person that looks down her nose, and there is a truth to that.
God.
There is a reality to that, and that sometimes that can be her. But actually, when you get to know her, she will do anything to help you and anything to support you and get you through whatever crisis or experience you're going through.
She actually is a Samwise Gamgee.
She is. Agreed. And actually, everything you have just said, we have both been fortunate to actually see ourselves.
Yeah,
Truly.
100%.
Truly.
Guys.
I know, right?
We love
Can't
you,
be mean
Mrs.
to any of you now.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
bitch.
Anal tonight.
Is this where this is going? Are you playing a long game?
Is it 11 inches long game? Or?
Oh.
That's too much. We know this. We discussed it.
Between us, we can probably make it.
I reckon we can make it work.
So, Mrs. H, what is your favourite thing about Mr. H? Let's inflate his ego even more.
Compliment.
His ego is always exponentially too massive anyway. Always likened him to Jeff from Community.
Yeah, I think you have done.
That's my favourite feature about him. He looks like Jeff from Community.
No, I don't.
Wow.
I really don't.
That took an unexpected
he
turn.
doesn't. No, okay. Mr. H, where do I start?
Aww.
I've never known anyone get in someone's head in such an unprecedented and kind of... He just gets people. His level of emotional awareness and intelligence is just second to none. He will just understand what you're going through and what he needs to do right there and then to kind of help you, even if you don't know you need it. So even before I know what I'm thinking and what kind of mood I'm in, he's already second guessed it, and he's already lined up all the things that I need to make me feel better, even before I know I'm going to need them.
It's normally snacks or drinks, but yes, thank you. dear.
Oh.
I mean, it's an easy thing to
And head
sort
rubs.
out.
Yeah, head rubs, snacks,
Head
and drinks.
rubs.
Yeah.
He just gets people on a level that you just don't realise you need until it's there. He's, he's just like my best friend. Like,
She's like my third or fourth best friend.
yeah,
Wow.
I accept that. I totally
Yeah, I've
accept
got
that.
some really good friends.
Yeah, it's true that.
And everyone needs this trait in their life because they just
Yeah.
someday we just don't know we need it until like he's there and he's like piecing them all back together.
Yeah.
Which is why we do a podcast, so many people can have me in their lives.
There we are.
Oh, that, and he's got like a really cool sense of humour.
Oh, they've thrown that one in as well. This is true. I do.
We do. It makes me laugh.
But you two obviously are just wonderful people. You're wonderful humans, and you're wonderful influences in the lifestyle. You know, I'm sure there are a lot of people listening who have really benefited from you, sharing what you know. Is there ever a time that you think perhaps foresee in the future where you wouldn't be in the lifestyle?
Oh, we
Would it
frequently
end?
talked
Is
about
there a
it.
finite time?
We frequently test each other's
10 years.
boundary. Yeah, I'll be done in 10 years. We talked about this. We frequently talk about can we exist without this in our lives? Because we did at one point, like 7 years ago, we talked about this literally last night together. We like to constantly check in and say, can you imagine what we would do if we didn't do this? And can we do this without doing this? And actually the pandemic was a really useful test for us because it allowed us to live like it wasn't happening anymore because we weren't allowed to do anything. So that was a really useful test of can we just be us again and monogamous without I mean, we still had the community and the messages and all the stuff that goes with it, but we didn't actually do anything. So at any point, if one of us wanted to walk away, I think we would do it.
Yeah.
But I think we'd probably both have a level of sadness that we didn't have this amazing community in our life.
Agreed. It's always a constant daily flowchart for us almost. It's like, is it fun? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And if it's not fun, can we make it fun? And if we can't, then we're out. And that's as simple as it should be. Obviously, there's a whole load of complex emotion that sits with it, and there's a wonderful community and sweet friends. And just because we might leave the lifestyle, it doesn't mean that those friends go away. Because I don't think it would. But I think we enjoy it. We enjoy the community. We enjoy the people, and we enjoy the interactions. So as long as that continues to be fun, I think we'll stick around and do this. And the podcast itself is like an important part of that for us, because more than anything else, is a chance for us to have fun and us to reflect on what we're talking about, what's been going on, what's been working well, what hasn't. So for me, that's a critical part. Yeah.
100%.
It's a lovely answer. Thank you, you two.
What was the question that's too naughty to ask us?
No.
Secret Vixen?
No, I'm not
Well,
answering
you wrote
that.
it down,
I'm not
so it must be a
asking that.
question
I didn't
that's
write
worth
it down. That
asking.
was a secret stag question.
Is 11 inches too big?
No.
No, it was weirder than that. I saw it.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you this, just yes or no.
I would say if she lets me.
Well, I haven't seen the
Gentle
question.
listeners, you can decide what that question was.
I didn't see it.
No.
If the answer is yeah, if she lets me.
It's anal.
No!
It is now.
No!
Yay, escalation!
What else would
No!
it be?
Oh, it was.
Come on, guys. We had a lovely moment there. Let's not ruin it.
It says you have no battery. That's really stressing me out. Oh my goodness. I read it.
Did you? What was the question, dear?
No.
It's nothing to do with anal.
There we go.
Thank you all.
So I want to say an absolute thank you for you both showing up and being part of this. And
I mean, you can't get rid of us. You've tried.
Yeah, we haven't tried.
Look at the door. Please, let us in.
Well, you don't have to. You have your own key, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
It's true. It's true.
You do have your own key.
And shortly we're going to have our own toothbrushes here.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we don't have
But
toothbrushes.
not our toothbrushes, because
No,
that
that's
is
a
weird.
very
Have our
different
own.
level of friendship.
I shall fashion you one out of a pencil.
And you'll have our dog here soon as well once she moves in.
Space House.
Exactly.
She's ready
that.
to leave you.
Exactly.
No.
So I want to say a huge thank you for coming along, spending time with us, asking us some great questions and answering even better ones.
Yeah, we can't put that.
Ow.
We are-
They were good questions.
Yeah, I know.
You just said yours were better.
They were.
I think he was trying to
You know
confuse
what?
your
I'm
logic.
going to go no with that last
Okay.
question. The last question was no.
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 No. Okay.
We always enjoy coming on.
We do. It's fun.
I always enjoy coming on. Secret Vixen, we don't know yet.
Yeah, sometimes we'll find out. What I will ask is, where do people find you in the world? Where can they find out more about Secret Stag and Secret Vixen?
You can find me at secret
In the bath.
underscore stag.
In a
I'll
very
tell
hot
you what,
bath.
do you know what?
In the
When
weather.
she's doing her naughty shit, the bath is a nice little safe place. Don't
Or a
mock it.
paddling pool
Don't
if
mock
it's
it.
really hot.
Yeah, or a bath. If it's really hot.
No, but
hot
seriously,
bath,
what-
hot bath in hot weather works.
Where can they find you other than in the bath?
It's secret underscore stag
And
on Twitter.
I am at secret underscore vixen 1.
One.
Shut up.
One really
Don't
irks you.
make me.
And
Come over there.
I heard that there was a blog that people could go to.
No, there's not a blog.
No.
It's all a lie. It's a rumour.
Oh, really?
You
But-
can find us at the blog at secretvixen.blog, and on that you can find our chapters and links to all the wonderful podcasts we've been on with lovely people.
Including the bed hoppers.
Yay! You said my name. Say it again.
Booers.
Mrs. H, do you want to do your thing?
Well, thank you for hopping into our bed.
What was it?
God.
The jingle?
What was the jingle?
The jingle
What was the
when
jingle?
it went Secret Vixen and Secret Stag.
It sounds like his theme tune.
Bit?
Oh, that's a
No,
surprise.
we've got this podcast shit in the bag.
I like to watch you fuck other men.
But then we come back together again.
This song is getting tedious.
It's time to interview the bed hoppers.
You know he's going to sing you, right?
I mean, I would have bought my ukin, but I didn't have it.
I can bring one in.
No,
I'll bring a uke in.
No, I prefer
Bring
my
my
banjo
uke.
lady. Thank you very much.